So first thing I want to do, I want to pull up just one pro clip here, real clip. And I just want to talk through Bailey's technique, okay? All right, just real quick, want to talk through his technique. Just jump in here. Is first looking at his balance. Notice how his shoulders are leaning forward right here. That's really important to keep that momentum going forward. Second thing I want you all to look at, and I think at times kids really struggle with, and let me get a good color so you can really see it, is this plant foot, okay? Notice, or I'm sorry, not plant foot, his jab step, okay? So he picks it up and puts it down. Picks it up, puts it down. It's really important on, if you're somebody who does field goals, that you pick it up and put it down. I'm glad you're still sore. I am too, man. I'm feeling it as well. But when we're talking about the jab step of a field goal, it has to be the same every time. So if you cover, maybe 6 inches or maybe 1 inch, it has to be the same each time to get that momentum going. But for him right here, notice what he's doing. It's literally just coming up and down, same spot. So I would guess if he misses and that jab step is up here somewhere, then it messes up his plant foot. So when you're thinking about talking about technique and drills and whatnot, you want to get to the root causes of why you're being inconsistent. And I think one of the biggest things for field goal guys is that jab step not being the same. But the other thing that I really like that he does, he is the same exact way every single time. So notice how tall he is. His head is up. His eyes are down right here, looking back at the ball. So his eyes are still down here. That ball's over the line of scrimmage. Then he's coming up. So a lot of people might say, oh, well, he finishes off to his left. He's in the NFL, and he's 9 years already in the league. He's about 93%, I think, last year for Minnesota. But one thing that he does really well is notice this skip. It's about at a 45-degree angle, and he's sliding down the field with the ball for about a yard. And what that slide does is, notice the ball's already gone. His shoulders, right? If I'm looking at his shoulders are still turned. His eyes are still down. So we should be good with that, because any finish after that is just carrying of momentum. All right? And if he does that same finish every time, and that ball is on a line, which you can see the height of this ball is all the way up there. All right? So he's getting really extreme height on the ball as well. So just wanted to jump in with a little bit of pro film. I am going to start doing some pro film sessions that will go on the platform once we launch. And that launch date is very, very soon. Very excited for you guys. So just want to jump in. We're going to go through punt first. Had a few guys submit some punts to me. We're just going to kind of break them down. If you have questions, just drop them in right there, and I'll try to hit on those as we go. Or actually, I might scroll through at the end as well. But if any of you guys just hit that share button, go ahead and let everybody know we're on. If they want to jump on as well, maybe it's a teammate, maybe it's somebody that you train with that's not lives near you across the country. Great way to kind of connect and talk through some of the technique things. So hit that share button if you can. That'd be awesome. So the first video I want to pull up is someone that's just training in their backyard. All right, and I think it's awesome that we're just finding places to train wherever we can, and that's the name of the game. So I just want to go through and see the clip real quick. Right-footed punter. All right, so first thing, if I'm a college coach or anybody, I'm looking at our stance right here. Okay, notice our stance. If we're right-footed and our right foot is starting off forward and we're taking 3 steps, that's an issue because it's a get-off time. So really, if we're going to start with a right foot forward, we should do a right jab, a left foot step, and then punt it. So 1.5, kind of like Morstead for the New Orleans Saints. I think when you get into a 3-step punt, you get into a lot of bad habits, because what happens is you get used to building all of this momentum, and as you take more steps, your steps get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what happens as you're taking your steps, your hips are going left, right, left, right. So our hips are rocking back and forth, so our finish comes off to the side. So it's very important to take small steps so our hips stay straight, and then we have a better, cleaner follow through, especially for the directional punts. So I would say first, I'm definitely looking at the 3 steps. Okay, I want to pull you all in a little bit more, just so you all can see it a little bit cleaner. All right, there we go, a little bit better. Great. So next thing I want to talk about is how far this ball is from our body. Okay, it is very close. It looks like a right angle. We're in here. I think at any times when we catch the ball, we should have an obtuse angle on our arm. We never want to be fully extended, but we don't want to let that ball get up inside on us as well, because then there's too much movement going out. All right. So right now I'm looking at that release of his hand. It looks like it's comfortable. Not bad. Doesn't look like a lot of movement out of the ball, but if I'm looking at contact, it looks like we're striking the front of that ball just slightly. Okay, so if I'm zooming in here, right, and I might be able to see it more than you can, it looks like we're striking the front of that ball. So his eyes right here should be looking at that sweet spot, making sure his foot is striking up and through the sweet spot. So a very important thing that you might not hear a lot of coaches talk about is eye discipline and seeing exactly where you want to strike that ball. All right, let's see that finish. All right, not bad. Coming up off the ground, you say he's falling off a little too soon. I love to work on that flexibility because that leg is bent right here at the end. I would love if that leg just stays straight up and through. That's going to give you a little bit more consistency. All right, good. Next one. Somebody else found a field, looks like possibly a farm. There is uprights in the background, but hey, we're trying to get better. The biggest thing I see when guys send me film is they do it in a walking tempo. I think in general, you want feedback on as much game-like kicks as possible. So think in your mind, you want to speed up your mechanics. I apologize. That's my living room. I don't know why it turned around on me. But you want to speed up your mechanics. That way that it's more game-like. So when you get feedback, you're getting coached up on exactly what you're going to do in a game. All right, so the first thing is DJ, is we're kind of walking. I want to catch and go, just like we're actually in a game. All right, I think we're moving a little too slow here at like 50%. Let's get it and go. Receive that ball like we're taking a step, right? Catch it and go right away. So second thing I want to talk about is this arm, okay? And it looks to me like this arm is pretty straight, right? It's almost all the way out there. I think you get a little stiff when that arm stays straight too long from the beginning. I like a slightly bent elbow, and then you can set it out there. Now, I don't want you to extend and toss it out there. I just want you to set it out there. But I think our arm is starting off a little too straight as our follow through. As our drop is coming out of our hand. But as far as the drop goes, the ball position looks pretty good. But the biggest thing now is we are looking right here at where we're hitting the ball. So it looks to me that the ankle is hitting the back of the ball first, and then that toe is up. So just for the purpose of, so you can kind of get an outline of the leg. So leg is here, the toe is up, right? We want that toe extended all the way through. So my hunch is that ball might be a little too straight because the nose of the ball is hitting the ankle, and then that toe is up, so we're mishitting that ball slightly. We're not getting the clean contact that we're desiring to get. So we're going to go through one more punt, and then I'm going to pull up one punt drill that I want to share with you guys as well. Where is he? All right, so a punt, Adam Berry. This is what he sent me. So he actually sent me some film last week, so I did a virtual coaching session with him for it, but we're just going to kind of talk through what I see, and then I'll introduce the punting drill specifically right after that. I want to speed this up a little bit. Not sure why it's taking so long, but I appreciate your all's patience. Let me see if I can get it one more time. Actually, let's see if we just go to the library. I can find him in the library. There we go. There we go. There we go. So, Adam Berry's 6'6". He takes small steps, but there is a few tweaks that we're trying to make right. One of the biggest things is you want to stay long and as tall as possible. You don't ever want to crunch and become smaller. That's whenever you get in the bad habits. So I'm gonna try to roll back and see if I can't get that set up for you guys. See if we can pull him in here again. You got it. So it's taking a little bit longer to load, so I'm just going to slow it down. I'm going to pull up somebody else, and we'll go step by step with him, as well as we'll pull in the drill to do as well. So the punting drill that I want to do for you guys right here is, it's called drop spot. So what we're going to do is, when you go out to the field, you're going to get a football, you're going to get maybe a towel, something like that. And what you're going to do is just do a drop spot. So let me explain the reason for this first, and then how it works. You want to pick out a spot. So I put just a field goal tee here. You can use a towel, anything. But the key is you want to have that in line with your punting foot. So notice where my steps are coming, I want that object for me to target, to drop to every single time. And the reason we're doing this is because we want everything to work together. We want to practice with a purpose. We don't just want to do things to do them, but we want to be purposeful for them. So notice right here, all right, I am taking steps to drop it on the object. The reason we're doing this is a lot of guys are either going with a straight arm or they toss it out. This way we're given an exact spot to set the ball. We're trying to set it there. So if we're setting there, then we can pivot and rip up and through to have more success with hang time. So this drill will really help with your hang time, as well as consistency of spiraling a ball and turning it over, because your drop will be in the same spot every time. So I'll just run it through, and then we'll do it one more in slow motion. All right, so 2-step punt, step, step, drop. Notice it's hitting right on that spot, bouncing backwards. If it's bouncing forward at all, then obviously our nose is up. We want to stay away from that. But this drill allows you to put that ball exactly where you want it. You don't want to overextend and toss it out there, and you don't want to jam yourself up. You want to find that good distance to come up and through. So you could just save this as drop spot. Good. So now what I want to do, and feel free to drop in any questions in here. I'm trying to follow along as I'm doing this, as well as feel free to hit that share button. Bring anybody in here that you think that would be helpful to see these as well. So want to look at a few field goals. The first one is, I know some of you all may have seen it, but Connor Madden is one of the guys who has been testing the virtual kicking platform and all of the workouts that we've been doing. And he hit a 70-yarder the other day. I personally don't like, in general, when kids are only posting 70-yard field goals. And the reason it is it changes your technique. I'd rather you post videos that's a running video. But I just wanted to hit on a few things. One, besides the actual workouts being explosive, even whenever you're trying to hit a longer field goal, let's say you're at camp and you're competing with a couple guys, and you keep backing up, and you know it's a little bit out of your range or it's close to your range, one big key focus you want to think about when you're at a showcase camp or a college camp is really fight to keep this follow through in line to where you want it to go. Okay, too many times we swing and bail off because we're swinging so hard. Really force that follow through to stay on line longer. So notice what Connor does. He's obviously swinging harder than usual, but he fights to keep that follow through in line a little bit longer, which keeps that ball on a straighter path to give him the shot to go straight. And notice he's going downfield.
No way.
Yes way. So that's just one. Now I want to pull up a few clips that guys have sent me that I kind of want to talk through as well. So the first one is two guys that are both college level kickers. One of them's at William & Mary, one of them's at Maryland. The first one is Greg Turcasco. All right, just want to look at his technique. He's a very fluid, smooth kicker. Just one slight thing that I wanted to work on. We see the slight fade. I know that it's a little bit windy, but in general, for a lot of you guys, all right, our eyes come up way too soon. All right, so one of the biggest things that you want to think about is you want to keep your eyes down at the ball longer. We don't want to come up and through when we're looking at the ball. So Greg is doing an awesome job right here, seeing exactly that ball coming up and through, finishing down his line. All right, and the second one is Ethan, and this is more of a, I think, something that I've seen when kids overswing. This is when kids overswing. So I'm going to run through it and bring it back. So obviously he's pushing off to the side a little bit. And what I want you to look at is his shoulders. His shoulders are really important here. Right? Notice his shoulder position on the back side. So right here, right, his shoulders are down and he's off balance. So really, if I was to get, let me get a different color here. So he's here and then he's here. He's almost crunching over the ball instead of leaning up and away. So just like we saw the NFL example earlier, he was tall, up and away, reaching out for the ball. Where here, we're swinging so hard that what happens as we swing, our hips bail out left and we crunch down, right? We never want our hips to bail out at all. We want them to be nice and engaged with a good core. So the result of that is that all of his momentum is pushing off to the right. So it's fading right, and then the result is the ball actually is pushed off to the right as well. So really, in any finish, when we're talking about a skip of any kind, we want to skip off to the left if we're a right-footed kicker, sliding down the field off to the left, but still staying square to our target. Awesome. Let's bring in one more field goal, and then I'm gonna go through the drill that I want to introduce for you guys for field goal. We have a younger guy here, so this might be helpful for you all. And I would obviously encourage you guys, for anybody younger that's at your schools that is wanting to kick, wanting to learn, jump in and help them out, coach them. I think you learn much more when you're able to coach guys than just trying to develop your own technique. You'll learn more about your own technique when you're coaching other guys. So for field goal, let's look at this one real quick. You're going to kick it. Hurry up. There we go. All right, finding a spot. I love it. Good. Let's look at that jab step on the ball of his foot. So I'm looking at the ball of his foot as a coach. That's good. I like that his body position, right? He's leaning forward, more in an attacking position. Both of those look good. One thing that I would really push you guys on is this off arm. Don't open it up so much on a field goal that it becomes behind your body. So don't open it up so far, because that'll really pull your hips off and you'll swing around a little bit. So I would try to stay away from that. And then let's look at his contact and finish. What a high follow through. That looks really good on the follow through. Nice. Looks really good on the follow through. I would say it does look like your plant foot is back a little too much. So if we're looking at your plant foot relationship to the ball, right? I would push that plant foot up a little bit, and I would like, let me get rid of that one. I would like your body position not to be back here, but actually be straight or leaning forward a little bit, looking back at the ball. I think if we sit back too much, we're trying to swing up, we hit the ground, and then notice our hips are back as well. We lose power and leverage that way. You got it, Caleb. No problem, bro. But really great follow through, man. Man, what great extension up there. That's awesome. Just make sure, try to really keep these shoulders turned to the ball longer, keep those eyes down a touch longer, so that follow through on the finish stay straighter. Okay, it looks like you're coming off to the side a little bit. Awesome. So, going to introduce one of the new field goal drills to you guys. I would agree, Cal. Very smooth swing, very fluid. This is called push throughs. Push throughs. So this is one of the drills on our platform. There's over 100 drills that will be on the platform. But just going to kind of roll through this so you can see it. Side note, what's up, Shane? All right. So what we're doing is you're going to have somebody hold the ball, or you could just have the ball down on a holder, and you're just going from 2, pushing up to 3. What we're focused on is the first thing is we want to control these shoulders. So these shoulders up here should be, I'm trying to get it, but these shoulders up here should be turned towards the ball slightly. All right, our head up, our eyes are down. All right, all we're going to do is push. And so notice we're really going to zoom in on, let me get you going here. All right, let me get you going. We're going to zoom in on the contact. So you want your foot exactly how it is in an actual game kick. You want it the same exact way to fit up, and then you're just going to push. So notice straight leg, locked ankle. Those 3 things are a huge factor, and it's just a push through. When we say push, you're just pushing through. We're on a line as well, and the reason we're on this line is so that your foot can mirror that line. You're trying to keep your foot straight as long as possible before you bail out at times, okay? So really emphasize doing that follow through on a line, making sure it's consistent. And so you're really feeling that ball. So when you come back to contact, you should be really feeling that ball on that sweet spot the entire time, pushing through. That'll help gauge the height and the accuracy of the kick. So good stuff there, but really, it's really focusing on fitting up the ball right on your foot and then pushing through. And then this guy right here, your holder can kind of add a little bit more pressure and really force you to engage that core. Let's don't crunch. Let's stay up and through the ball, nice and long and tall. Good stuff. So I'm going to move on to kickoffs. I'm going to look at one kickoff, and then we'll shut it down for any sort of questions that you guys have as well. So feel free to keep dropping in the questions. I'll try to see these as we keep rolling. So for kickoffs, like I said, we're finding somewhere to film. I love it. Let's get this rolling again. So approach-wise, looks smooth, right? I think in general, if you're a kicker kicking off, right, you don't have a smooth approach, nice and smooth, kind of like a walk, jog, run. Those are all good. What's up, Joey? Good to see you, man. What's up, Raph? Hello, Check is in the building. Can you send me some film, Raffy? Let's get that thing straightened out, dude. All right, so what I'm looking here at is I like his smooth approach. The biggest thing that I see is that we're kind of jumping as we're swinging. We're jumping up as we're swinging. I want this follow through here, that momentum of the leg swing, to bring you up and through the ball. I want the momentum of it. I really feel like you're kind of using this plant leg to jump up, which is actually losing leverage for the swing. Yeah, I would agree, guys. And Burns is in here as well. Who's stopping us? Let's go, baby. Let's get everybody fired up. I like this. Good. Getting juiced up. All right, I would really think keep that plant foot in line a little longer. All right, but in general, this backswing looks outstanding. Notice how straight this leg is, right? How straight that toe is. That looks outstanding. And then on the finish, this is really the finish we want, guys. Notice how tall he is. That chest is up. Nice long chest. Staying long and tall is a term we use. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, and then that finish. I'm really liking that finish as well. So the drill I want to pull in, because we've got about 5 minutes left, is a no-step hurdle. And what the no-step hurdle is another drill on our platform. And what we use it for is for the purposes of body control. All right, is body control. So you're going to stand next to the ball, all right, next to the tee without the ball. Put your plant foot in that spot. You're going to start with your kicking foot back, and you're going to pick it up, swing up and through, just kind of like you would do like a no-step swing or kick. But now what you want to do is actually swing up and through and working on the hurdle. And really what it is, it's isolating this upper body. Sorry, it's isolating the upper body to force it to stay straight, right? Because too many times, especially as a no kick, no step swing, we crunch. It forces you to stay up long and tall, because if we open up that midsection of that chest and then snap through contact on kickoff, that's when we're leveraging all of our power in our explosion. So just notice backswing, ripping up and through, straight leg, point the toe, and then allow this swing, allow the swing of the leg to bring you up and down the field. I don't want us to actually jump as we swing. Okay, let the swing bring us up and through the ball, moving down the field. Good. Nice and balanced, up and through, something you can do at home. No step, kickoff swing with the hurdle. All right, any other questions before we break? Any questions that I can kind of answer for you all? Any things you all are doing at home that I could kind of touch on before we break? Just feel free to drop that in. I'm going to go to one more clip as I'm waiting for y'all to shoot a few things in here. So let's just look at one more from 60 yards. So it's from the front, and this is kind of really where I want the technique to be. All right, what's the best way to develop a hurdle after ball contact on a kickoff? Good question. So I'm gonna hit on this, and I'm gonna come back to that, but really it's putting a barrier in front of that tee to jump up and over it. All right, you wanna jump up and over an object, so forcing that leg to stay straight and keep it straight on the follow through. So put like some cones, maybe a football, maybe a linebacker bag in front of that cone, coming up and through, landing over it. What's up, Puyo? Good to see you, dude. Jumping in there. Shane just asked, who's the best NFL kicker to watch and learn from? That's a trick question, because all of them are NFL kickers. So they're all good, really good at what they do. What makes them unique and special, and I'm going to hit on this in our pro film breakdown as well when I break down NFL kickers film, is what they do is unique, but it's the same every time. So my philosophy is you should find someone who's similar to what you look like, and then you should start building on what makes them successful. So, first of all, I would look at just stance and then steps. If it's a jab and two, that's probably what you want to look at. You don't want to watch somebody who does just two steps, but you are set on doing a jab and two. Just look at the body mechanics of them. Whatever one fits similar to what you're doing, I would go with them as well. Drills for follower punts. I'm not getting turnovers. There's no drill to develop further punts. I think it's more along the lines of consistency. The further part comes, I think, in the weight room and the supporting workouts that we do to build the power. Because as a punter, you want to consistently be fluid and smooth, the same every time. And then as you get stronger, that fluid and smooth hits the ball further. So I think more along the lines of what we talked about today. If you're not turning the ball over, it's one of two things that I believe. Is one, are you hitting the sweet spot every time? So I would fix your eyes on the laces and come up through the front of the laces would be the first part. And then the second part is make sure we're hitting the sweet spot, because a lot of the times if the ball is out too far, then we're kind of reaching and we're smacking the ball. Or if it's in too far, we're hitting the front of the laces. I would really emphasize and really look at the film. Make sure your leg is straight, your toe is pointed at contact and stays locked out, because that's what gets that ball to roll over and spiral and turn over. But feel free to send me some film, and I can use that for next week, and we'll talk through specifically for you what would work. Awesome. Appreciate your questions. We're just going to look at one last clip before we're done. So this is from 60. From 60. Notice how fluid and smooth he is. Coming up and through. This is really the big key that I think a lot of high school kids struggle with. Notice how tall he is. Look at that line. Okay, look at that line. Also, notice how level his shoulders are as well. They're turned to the ball. His eyes are down. Right, he's still keeping the same technique. He may be swinging a little bit harder, obviously, because it's from 60, but still notice that consistency, just like what we talked about with Connor, the line that follow through takes, even though you're swinging harder, you're forcing to frame that follow through along that line to make sure that foot matches where you want that ball to go. Those are huge keys whenever you're hitting longer field goals, to keep that follow through on line longer.